Good morning everybody, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Friday, nearly the weekend everybody. Nearly, the sun is out again in Rochester, the sun is shining brightly down and it's warm. And I'm here in my flat in Rochester. Now I went out yesterday down to Rochester High Street just to take some library books back. And I've not any plans for today at all, right? I've never been to Oxford. Alexa, what is Oxford like?
Good morning, Crystal. According to Wikipedia, Oxford is a cathedral city and non-metropolitan district in Oxfordshire, England, of which it is the county town.
So there's a nice cathedral in Oxford. Alexa, how far is Oxford from Rochester?
From Rochester, Oxford is 179.1 kilometres away by car.
Alright, so let's rephrase that. Alexa, how long would it take me to get to Oxford from Rochester?
From Rochester to drive to Oxford, based on current traffic, it'll take about 2 hours and 5 minutes.
So a journey to Oxford from Rochester in the car would take 2 hours, 5 minutes. So Oxford is absolutely a long way away from Rochester. I myself have never been to Oxford. It sounds more like a royal area to me. You know, it does. It sounds like a place where royals would have houses and places. It does to me. So there you go. Did you know that before Camilla became queen, she visited Rochester in Kent? Because Charlie told me, the Charlie that I met on the field, told me that he'd met Camilla Parker Bowles outside Rochester Library. So there's another fact for you. Royal involvement. So, it's my fault and it's going to stop because I won't be talking to people in TikTok anymore. There won't be any answering any messages at all. Right, so. In this world, I'm not going to make real friends. I know that. So I'm stuck in a virtual prison. A virtual prison. So it's not a prison with a cell. It's not a prison where I can't go outside. But it's being controlled virtually. Within the internet. And obviously, wherever I've lived, wherever I've gone, as well. So all the incidents where I've been mistreated, have been instigated. Like being set up and put in a cell, and the police officers, if they were police officers, coming out and not showing me their warrant badges. And the paperwork with the fake names on them, including the court case paperwork with fake names on them. They won't tell the truth. They're obviously in control of the police. So I'm really livid. I'm really angry, and they want me to just forget it, and they try and trigger me off and upset me. And make out it's me. So I have to videotape every time I go out what's happening, what people are saying, and show them the time and the date on the footage, because these people are trying to set me up. And one of the things gang stalkers do is they want to try and make you go to jail. And some people do. And they're completely innocent. So yesterday, right, absolutely disgraceful behaviour from grown adults using children, using kids to get at me, because you can't shout at children, can you? You can't. So where were the teachers? Where were the members of staff watching these children just walk? they weren't college kids. These were kids ranging from, I would say, about 10 to 15. And they were going into shops without teachers with them. And they were specifically going into charity shops because one of the girls went up to a member of staff and asked the member of staff where all the charity shops were. She didn't know where they were. Right? They were eating sweets, which is really promoting good health, isn't it? That's promoting really, really good health. Letting children go into a sweet shop and buy hard swizzle lollies, and the one girl was licking it. They were coming into charity shops. They were being a nuisance. Kids without a teacher. I don't know what's going on. It was absolutely disgraceful. And they were wandering up and down the high street, left alone to their own devices. They were sitting all over seats and benches where, you know, and there was elderly people walking up the road and wanted to sit down, and they were just being a nuisance. And you can't tell kids off. You can't. So it's up to the teachers to. They're not doing their job properly. They're probably understaffed. I think I saw one teacher person with about 20-25 kids. And they were being left to their own devices. They absolutely were. They were trying to push me out the way. I was in the cancer research charity shop and some girls barged in. Girls barged in really short shorts. They barged in and, they were saying things like the adults do, like, I can't explain it because I was there and I know what these adults do to me. So they got kids to do it instead, which is disgusting. I found it stressful. Everywhere stank of incense and smoke. Probably mixed with cannabis as well, going down Rochester High Street. Not a nice place to go, actually. And take children, not unsupervised. So I went into the Hospices of Hope first, and the street theatrics come in. They come in, and they're like, like, I'm better than you. Oh, I'm going to talk to the assistant. Oh, and she's going to help me, and she's not going to help you. That kind of behaviour from grown adult women. I kept my cool. I don't want attention. I just want to be left alone to buy my shopping. And in fact, the lady at the desk was nice to me after those two women barged in and started showing off. Oh, it's got my name on it. Oh, my name. Showing off and being loud. Right? Doing things differently today. The Queen of Farts card game was in the charity shop and they were all laughing. I was all laughing when I walked in. Basically, I bought the Queen of Farts game because I don't want people seeing that. Diana was the Queen of Hearts, not the Queen of Farts. Bear in mind that Camilla's been to the library in Rochester. She's been to the library, and Camilla Parker Bowles and Diana didn't get on. Makes you wonder who's putting these things in the charity shop, or who's getting them to. It's a brand new puzzle game, the Queen of Farts. It's a mind of a jealous, spiteful woman, if you ask me. I had put some comments on Diana's birthday saying she was the Queen of Hearts. So somebody put the Queen of Farts in the charity shop, and they knew I was going to the Rochester High Street because my library books were due back yesterday. And the Medway Council is a government department. Medway Council is a government department. So they all knew I was going down the high street. They wanted to make my shopping experience horrible. They wanted me to shout and act crazy, but I didn't. I did not. In fact, on one occasion, their behaviour, grown women, was laughable. I started laughing. I just couldn't believe how adult women behave. And bring it 12 o'clock, between 12 and 2, the sun was fucking hot. And they were using their dogs. They were walking their dogs down the high street, pulling them about, letting them try and go for my legs on the lead. Between when the sun is at its highest, using children and animals, kids and animals, like the actors and actresses they are, pulling their dogs about. When the sun was at its highest, when I came home, I had to open all the windows, sit by the fan, splash my face with cold water. So you can imagine those poor dogs that they were pulling down the high street felt like, don't you? Dogs down the high street, pulling them about, letting them go near my legs. On one occasion, this guy was just turning his head and letting his dog go towards my feet. I went in Mr. Flower. I got some flowers. I put them on the balcony. The lady was nice. She's decent. The lady in Mr. Flower, she's a nice lady. I mean, it doesn't cost anything for human politeness to say please and thank you and not treat me like a piece of shit. They're obviously told to treat me like shit. Went into the newsagents by the Oxfam shop and he served a man before me. That was so rude. I had to stand there and let it go on because if I start shouting, I'll get banned out of shops. They'll ban me out of the shop, you know? Even though they're treating me like shit, treating me like a third-class citizen, they'll ban me out of the shop when they've caused the problem. I went into Bernardo's. There was a black boy serving me. A black boy, I couldn't say his age, but he must have been over 18. So there was a black lad in Bernardo's serving me, Crystal, yesterday. The women were giggling behind him and they left him to serve me. This is coming from people going into my TikTok, or they're going down my YouTube and they're reading what distresses me and then they're bringing it to life outside. So the black lad was absolutely more polite than the guy that served me in the newsagents. So the black guy asked me if I wanted a bag and he put all my things in a bag. So great. Nothing wrong in Bernardo's apart from the women giggling behind in the background. This has been going on my whole life when I went to school as well, being taken the mickey out of. When I was at school, I was quiet, and they would when it was lunchtime, kids would come up to me in the dinner queue and just start talking to me, and then I would get picked out and put in the corner and told to put my hands on my head for speaking. So I'd go lunchtime without any dinner. This cruelty has been going on all my life since I was a kid. And to me, it's royal. Because there's only two ways this could be instigated, and that is the mafia, the mob, or royalty. When no one helps you, nobody. When I was a kid, I was crying out for help. I was being abused. Everybody ignored me. And the abuse was allowed to carry on until I was 18 years of age. From 10 to 18 is all that I can remember. If it was going on beforehand, my mind's blocked it out. And they ignored it. The police come out. Well, I don't know if my mum's involved in it or not. I don't know. I'm not talking to her much anymore, and I'm not going up there. Because there's shenanigans that go on when I go up to see my mother. It's cruelty, it's torture. I go inside the door, slams the door, bolts it, and she's covered herself in perfume. And she used to do that when I was a kid, and I used to have breathing difficulty and breathing problems, and always being sick and ill. It's like they're witches as well, with all their concoctions of smells. Oh, jealous witches. Anyway, so I came back from Rochester High Street. I can say that I was absolutely boiling hot and sweating. I was fed up, but I didn't lose my temper, because that's what they want you to do, and you must not do that. And another thing is, if you're too quiet, they want a bit of action. So if I'm in my flat, sat down, and I've had a peaceful half an hour, they want to spoil that. They want to spoil it. They want you hypervigilant. They want you on tenterhooks, and they want you stressed to the max, right? And I could have exploded yesterday, but I did not. I kept my cool, and I smiled, and I laughed, and I carried on. And I even put some music on, because they are totally fake. And anything they do to me is going to be fake. So the fake police come out, put me in a fake cell, and they play about with you. But I know what they're doing, right? And they don't know what to do with me. They don't, because I know what they're doing, right? And they're chickens, and they don't want to get caught. So they want to continue manipulating and controlling. They know you know what they're doing, but they don't know what to do. Because I know my rights, and you can't just pick somebody up and put me in a cell like they did 2 times previously. And I know it's fake. When I'm in a domestic violence situation, and I'm talking to a young female supposed police officer, and one of my abusers picks up on the phone and says, "Oh, she's mad. She's mad. Don't listen to her. She's mad." And then the female officer puts the phone down. So you know it's bullshit. It's bull crap. Someone's an actor. And that is what, I'm not, no word of a lie, that's what happens. One of the perpetrators went to the police officer. I was in a situation where I could have been murdered. She's mad. She's mad. Oh, is she? And the police officer put the phone down and left me with the perpetrator. So I'm alone. I can't trust my mother. She's involved in it. I can't trust anybody but myself. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning, and happy Independence Day to all our US friends, whether across the pond or here in dear old Blighty. Good news. So far there's no sign of Will Smith having to save the day from alien spaceships.
Alexa, what's the time?
It's 8:35 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Friday the 4th of July.
Alexa, what's the weather outlook in Rochester, England?
Currently, in Rochester, England, it's 16 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. Today, you can expect intermittent clouds, with a high of 27 degrees and a low of 16 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What did the banana say to the elephant? Nothing. Bananas can't talk.
And Alexa, which celebrities were born on this day?
Celebrities born on the 4th of July include Post Malone, Calvin Coolidge, Giuseppe Garibaldi, Eva Marie Saint, and Maya Lansky.
Now also remember, these gang stalkers, they're extremely cruel. And it would have been my sister's 50th birthday on July the 5th. She would have been 50. She died when she was 36. The same age Princess Diana passed away. So these guys are really cruel. They're all involved in it. All the people down the street, when I go down the high street, when I go anywhere, so I keep myself to myself. If I had earplugs that actually fit in my ears properly, I'd put them in. But that risks me of getting run over, doesn't it? So the last words my sister said, my mum said, she said, was hello. So when I came back yesterday, they are bitches. I was walking down where I live and they was going, hello, women, female voices, hello, oh yes, and hello. When I was coming back from Rochester High Street yesterday, and my mum had mentioned my sister. She'd mentioned my sister. She says, it's not forgetting Amanda. It would have been her birthday on July the 5th tomorrow. So, you know, once all this is over, I'll probably feel better. Because they always like this towards my sister's birthday. So they tried to spoil Princess Diana's birthday because they're just jealous witches. They're jealous witches. And they are witches. I've watched The Wicker Man. They used their, Chelsea Leah, she took her boobies out. It must have been in front of 1,000 people. She just let her tits fall out on a live stream on TikTok. They use their bodies to manipulate men. And if you watch The Wicker Man, they try and lure and seduce a man to his death. To his death by using their boobs. Very sexual they are. Like sirens. Sirens, like the boats. They see these beautiful women like mermaids with their boobs, and it causes a boat crash. Women using their feminine attributes to lure men to their death. That is going on, and has gone on for ages as well. So, yeah, Chelsea Liart is opening her legs. It is, I don't know if she's restricted her TikTok to over 18. I have. But she's opening her legs wide open, letting her boobs drop out. And what are we teaching our children? What are we teaching the future generation? She's smoking. She should be permanently banned. So should anybody else like smoking drugs on live streams. Children watch these things. Even when parents restrict things, because I know from when I was a kid and we didn't have the internet, kids are kids, and they get onto the telly, they get onto your tablet, they get onto their mother's mobile phone and tablet and use it. I've seen it. They shouldn't be exposed to nudity and sex at a young age. It's harmful. Or drugs or drink. Because it happened to me. It is harmful. They'll grow up promiscuous. They'll have babies when they're 15, 16. And being introduced to drugs can harm. We've got people dying in their 20s because they've been exposed to drugs at a young age. But while we've got a weak government, a weak king, while we've got no police on the streets, and while teachers are afraid to reprimand children because, you know, kids are coming to school with weapons and God knows what. I mean, I've seen parents afraid of their own children. This is going to get worse. It's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse and worse, and people are being attacked by kids. They are being attacked by kids in Herne Bay. There's a video where a group of elderly people and middle-aged people have gone to like a meeting about it. They're afraid to leave their homes because there is no discipline anymore. Parents are afraid to discipline their kids. You're not allowed to obviously smack them. And kids are becoming violent and aggressive. And gangs of kids can be actually dangerous, can't they? Because they are not being disciplined. I don't know what's happening in schools. I dread to think. What is the government allowing to be taught in schools, if anything at all? I know from going to Go Train, a government-run building, which was allowing, and I was a first-hand witness, supposed to be a training thing for people to learn to go to work. They weren't learning to go to work. They were almost doing it, if you know what I mean, in the building, sitting on each other's laps, kissing. They were using Facebook and YouTube. They weren't learning anything at all. And when I refused to join in with their debauchery, doing what they like, they started attacking me. They started being cruel and nasty to me, laughing at me and being wicked. Because I refused to join in with the drugs, drink and the sex and not learning. They were just sitting there watching Facebook and YouTube. And that was a setup, what happened to me in Go Train. So they can't, you know, when someone says to me, oh, you don't go to work, well, you wonder why, don't you? Because they do it to me in the workplace as well. And they're never going to touch me again, not one of them. Because I'm not having it. I'll scream, I'll shout, I'll tell the whole world what they're doing. And they know that. They fear me. I know what they're doing. They're crooked, they're bent, they're working for somebody. They're, you know, people, you know, oh, you can go in, oh, just, you know, turn a blind eye. I was almost raped by this horrible man in Go Train. Horrible. And they was all sitting there watching him do it. I've got a big mouth right now. Right, that Charlie, oh, Camilla Parker Bowles, yeah, well, really? I've never met Camilla Parker Bowles. And Princess Anne went down Chatham High Street, opening up the Wisdom charity shops, look, the Royals. Princess Anne opened up the Hospices of Hope in Chatham High Street. Camilla's been to the library in Rochester High Street. And all that trouble I had in Gloucestershire, there was royals, pictures all over the wall. In the nursery I was taking my son to, Princess Anne again that was, a picture was all over the wall. Can't do it to me anymore. They can fuck my life up, like make it miserable, like I'm living in prison, but they can't fucking touch me. And you know, allowing a woman to be sexually abused is absolutely disgusting. They should be ashamed of themselves, who's ever doing this. It's a bitch, a real nasty bitch, a jealous bitch, a horrible bitch. Because, you know, I want they get their teeth fixed, they get private health care, who's ever doing this to me. Yeah, and they're wandering around laughing at me because I can't get any help. You're a real nice person, you are. You really are, and your cronies. Yeah, but you ain't gonna live forever because nobody is, and fuck you. Going into my live streams mentioning royalty. Oh, you look like Sarah Ferguson. Ew. No, I don't. She's got straight teeth. Idiot. Sarah Ferguson's got lovely teeth. Always got to talk about the royals. Oh, you look like Sarah Ferguson. Really? See you later, guys.